Well, hello there, PolishLynx here, and the sad story of Emmeline Burns with us. Extra scene, let's go. Was this about a sunlight streaming through the open window, illuminating stray particles of dust as they danced through the air. The gilt-edged mirror on Emily's wall shimmered, the surface sparkling like the edge of a cut jewel. Emmeline lay on her bed, stretched out on her stomach, cat-like, kicking her legs idly back and forth in the air. Cornelia sat beside her, arms around her legs, knees under her chin, taking up rather less space than Emmeline was. Cornelia was attempting to read a book, but Emmeline kept tooting and citing and making such fuss Cornelia could not help but be distracted.
What are you doing, Amy? Oh, I'm supposed to be reading this?
She gestured to a thick volume on poetry lying on the bed before her, hefty enough to knock a man's teeth out.
But it is so tedious, unspeakable dull. I fear I will go quiet mad. Did Miss Warren tell you to read that? You mean Ellie? You still call her Ellie? I can call her what I please. She is under the employment of my father, and she should accept whatever name I see fit to give her.
Oh my god. That's not really nice.
You, my dear Emmeline, are quite the piece of work. I feel terribly sorry for Miss Warren. Do not feel sorry for her. Feel sorry for me. I'm the one who has been tasked to read this drivel, for it is so boring. I would rather drive a rusty spike through my head.
Cornelia shifted slightly on the bed, squeezed and held one hand to her chest. Cornelia's complexion was always pale, yet it looked even paler now, like a cadaver's.
Must you be so gruesome? I cannot help myself. The Gothic is very vogue right now. I believe that was back in the late 1790s. You're half a century too late to engage in this particular fashion trend, Emmy. Well, I wish I was reading Radcliffe instead of this nonsense. Why should I care about the ledge gatherer of all people? The very notion that some people are so poor they must gather ledges to making a living is depressing enough without reflecting upon it in verse form.
Wordsworth, is it?
Wordsworth indeed, and he uses rather too many words. I cannot understand why Ellie, nay, why of all of England, is so besotted with him. I wondered lately, as cloud indeed. I don't understand why you dislike him so. I thought you liked poetry. I do like poetry, but this is not the sort of poetry I like.
Poof.
Could you not try to focus on the elements of his poetry you enjoy, rather than lingering on those which you despise? There is nothing about his poetry I enjoy, Nelly. I cannot stand all the moralizing about poor people. I wonder how often our genial friend Mr. Wordsworth mingled with leech gatherers and country pastors. Ha!
Emmeline started in a manner that was not entirely dissimilar to her horse, and slammed her collected works of William Wordsworth shut. She slammed it with such force she very nearly sliced off her fingers, and was only able to withdraw her vulnerable digits at the very last second.
I cannot be doing with all of this nonsense, not on such a lovely day. I would much rather experience nature with my own senses than read it within these dusty pages, right and bad, a dusty old man. But what of Miss Warren? She will scold you if you do not finish your reading. Why should I care what that old spinster thinks? She likes William Wordsworth. A lot of people like him. He was the poet's laureate. A lot of people are awfully stupid then. You should not speak ill of him like that. He was a great man, and he died only 1 year hence. It is rather too soon to insult him. You have not even given his body a chance to cool yet. Cold or not, I doubt he will care very much about what I think now. Being dead has a tendency to kiss one's ability to care about such things. Say what will, but I still don't think it is appropriate. You do not think anything is appropriate, Nelly. It is a wonder you let me kiss you as I do.
Giggling mischievously, Emmeline sat herself up and pressed an unexpected kiss against Cornelia's neck.
Ah,
Cornelia twitched, her eyelashes fluttering.
are you a vampire, Emmy?
Perhaps.
I feel I get along far better with Lord Byron's verses than Mr. Woodward's at any rate. If only Wordsworth had written of vampires, then you might pay attention. Indeed, it would be more interesting. Not as interesting as this, however. Emmy, you will leave bruises if you kiss me like that.
And yet, despite Cornelia's feeble protestations, she found herself inclining her head, giving Emmeline further access to the white landscape of skin that made up her neck, her collarbone, and the parts of her chest that were not obscured by the light pink fabric of her dress. Emmeline giggled devilishly, pressing yet another kiss against Cornelia's neck, lower down this time.
You say that, but I know you do not truly mind. I may not mind, but my mother. Ah, yeah, how could I forget the venerable Mrs. Linton? If your mother caught you with bruises on your fair neck, she may grow rather suspicious. That is what I was thinking.
For Emmeline was no longer kissing Cornelia. Cornelia's voice escaped from her lips in a soft gasp, lighter than usual. The syllables struck together with stutters. Her heart was pounding far too fast, dyeing her cheeks dark crimson. Inwardly, Cornelia scolded herself. She was just like those silly, swooning women in books. Penned by Pamela, in particular, sprang to mind, who fell to pieces at the sight of their lords. Her mother had not raised her to be like this, setting the fact that Emmeline was another girl aside, which was a rather important fact, but one Cornelia did not care to examine. Cornelia knew her own conduct was nothing short of shameful. She could hardly breathe, and her heart felt as though it were beating inside her mouth, and no matter how she tried, she could not gather her composure. Emmeline had a most curious effect upon her. Much like a drug, Cornelia was little better than a helpless opium addict, hardly able to function without Emmeline's kisses and curses. Yet Cornelia would not have changed her relationship with Emmeline for the world.
Your mother might even suspect you have been engaging in dalliances with that awful Wedgwood boy. Not Aubrey Wedgwood! The one and the same, unless you thought I was referring to his father. Emily, Mr. Wedgwood is in his 50s. That is preposterous. This is not so very preposterous. We are nearing the age where we ourselves should get married. You know, it is not uncommon for girls our age to marry gentlemen in their twilight years. I would rather not to Aubrey Wedgwood, and certainly not to his father. I would rather die. I am so glad to hear you say that. The feeling is quite mutual. I do not know why you had to ask to begin with. Should my feelings not be obvious? What do you mean? Well...
Cornelia looked down her lap, linking her fingers together.
Even though this may make me less of a woman, or at least not the woman my parents wish me to be, I cannot bring myself to care. You are the one that I love, Emmy. Your virulent hatred of Mr. Wordsworth aside, I do not want to think about getting married to a man. I do not even want to contemplate it.
Emmeline blinked for a few moments, momentarily surprised by Cornelia's sudden burst of honesty. This surprise soon wore away, however, to be replaced with a gentle smile.
I feel quite the same. I do not even care if I become an old spinster like poor Ellie. I just want to be with you, no matter what.
The next day.
What are you doing, Emmy? Drawing? I thought we were supposed to be reading more of Mr. Wordsworth's poetry. I attempted to do so, but it was very dull, and that was when I had this excellent idea. Yeah?
Cornelia's frown deepened, and she folded her arms, for she did not want to question Emmeline. She did wonder. as she always did when the Emmeline claimed to have sprung upon an excellent idea. Just how excellent this idea really was. The last time Emmeline had been bestowed with an excellent idea, she had hidden a slug in the pocket of long-suffering Miss Warren's overcoat, and the poor woman had shrieked loudly enough upon its discovery to rouse even William Wordsworth from his grave in Grasmere.
You see, I simply remembered what you told me earlier, my dear Nelly. And what was that? You told me to try and find something in Mr. Wordsworth's poems that I found interesting. And did you? Of course not. I already told you I cannot stand his works. There is one thing in this world, however, that I cherish above all else. And what is that? Why, it is beautiful woman, of course.
Corinna blinked. Where was this going exactly? For she had been close companions with Emmeline throughout the last 14, almost 15 years. She could not profess to possess full understanding of her inner workings of the other girl's mind. Perhaps not even Emmeline herself understood such things, given she always seemed to flit from fancy to fancy, restless like a bumblebee in the spring.
I'm well aware that you like beautiful women, but I fail to see how that relates to the esteemed Miss Wordsworth. Why, Nelly, you are being awfully dense today. It is simple, self-explanatory, really. It is. Yeah, I see now. In order to truly appreciate Mr. Wordsworth's works, I should reimagine him, the poet himself, into a form more suited to my desires. That is, I should imagine his body of poetry came not from the hand of a pompous and self-obsessed gold kid with a big nose, but from a young and beautiful woman. Look, look!
Emmeline, beatific in her excitement, showed Cornelia one of the quick sketches she had been working on. No. Cornelia took the sketch, a furrow in her brow deepening as she did so. There, displayed on the white page, was a young and beautiful woman. Her hair fell about her shoulders in a manner any young romantic would surely have appreciated, and she wore a loose dress that was rather...
Why is the shot so short? Oh, Cornelia, it's just a fantasy. Do not trouble yourself too much with the details, and I made more sketches too. More! Of course, after I redesigned Mr. Wordsworth, I realized that the current landscape of British poetry could use a touch more feminine charm, and I took it upon myself to beautifully all of the romantic poets that our country cares for so greatly. Apart from Keats, of course. He did not live long enough to warrant a new design, as far as I am concerned. Of course.
Cornelia flipped through Emmeline's array of worrying sketches, her left eye twitching.
Emmeline, you really do have one-track mind.
Alright, that was it, the extra scene. Alright, but I want to click this. Oh, it's a gallery. Okay, and what's this? Oh, the next page. Got it. Right, well, that was it. The sad story of Emmeline Burns. Really great game, in my opinion. Alright, I got myself into the music actually a bit. Well, that's it, as I said. We have to finish this game. We have to finish this series actually. I enjoyed it quite a lot. Well, actually, it's hard not to enjoy such actually magnificent story, in my opinion. I believe, well, it was really great, and well, I just hope other games from this developer will be the same, with also a great story, so it will appear. Yeah, I'm sure some games will appear soon as well, so hope you enjoyed it as well, and see you in the next game, which I don't know yet what will be. Alright, bye.